Good evening, everyone. I did a little bit of an update on days. I calculated the days, and it's 1,132 days today since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. So 1,132 days. Um, yeah, so it was time to do an update. And, a soldier just doesn't disappear from his barracks on a military installation, especially one in 2020 called Fort Bliss, where you have all kinds of camera, all kinds of technology. And so I'm going to bring up a little bit about the technology. And from the very beginning, we wanted to know what kind of environment Richard found himself in. We thought that that would absolutely give us some indication why he would go missing. And what we found is that the barracks uh, were not following SOP. And I put that up. I don't know if they've taken it down because I've been told that several things that I've put up on my Facebook, on our Facebook team, Find Richard Halliday, that they have taken it down. So I don't know if the SOP for the barracks has been taken down. I need to put that up. Matter of fact, I'm going to write me a note because I know that that stirred things up because it implicates the NCOs in the disappearance of my son. When they're not doing their job, when they're allowing the barracks to be marketplaces for illegal drugs, when they are allowing the barracks to be flush with weapons. And remember, that was Brigadier General David Stewart who told that to us, that when he came in, and Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, that the barracks were flush with weapons. And I was in shock. And uh, Special Agent Marlon Soto called me, and it's on record that it wasn't just Richard's barracks that was flushed with weapons on Fort Bliss. It was all of them. It was all of them. And that was, it was supposed to make me feel better. But that was even more horrifying. And it really goes to the uh, the claim that DES and Chief of Security of Fort Bliss, Thomas Kane, admitted that there are breaches of security on Fort Bliss and in the JAG that are very concerning, that even the JAG is blocking or not doing their duty when it comes to fraud, waste, and abuse claims, that they're blocking them, or in our son's case, that a key witness is being denied access to Fort Bliss, banned from entering Fort Bliss unjustly, um, because JAG somehow has a connection with Leilani Hart. Well, there's conflicts of interest even in the JAG, and that this is what our intel is telling us, and that Thomas Kane admitted in that letter that there's no packet, there was no investigation to ban our key witness, that there was no notification, there was no opportunity to defend yourself, to defend themselves in this accusation that is absolutely false, and it's done by somebody, Leilani Hart, that is a convicted criminal, and not just convicted for anything, but convicted for lying, making false claims to law enforcement authorities. And so that is a very big deal. And so I think that um, General Eisenhower needs to understand what has been going on and lift the ban on our key witness that was unjustly um, slapped down on him, and caused a obstruction of justice, a denial of due process, just also a violation of human rights. I believe all of those things can be applied. I'm not a lawyer, but to me, it's so rotten what has been done in our son's case and with our key witness, because it would have already solved this case if it would not have been done. And so let me get on Facebook to make sure that everything is working okay. See here, sorry, I don't mean to have dead air. But what I'm about to tell you next is so important. And there I am. Day 1132, because I um, calculated the days and I had to update it. I have to do that periodically um, when you're reaching this many days. Um, it has to be done. So soldiers just don't go missing from their barracks room on Fort Bliss with all of that information. And key witnesses just don't get banned when they are a officer of the court and have the authority to get information, to access open records, and and you know why would Fort Bliss want to obstruct the findings of Richard Halliday? That's that's been a curiosity in all of this, and it seems to be connected to Park University, which is connected to generals, because don't forget that generals are guest lecturers at Park University. And also, the chief of security of Fort Bliss, the DES, Thomas Kane, was a professor, a paid professor at Park University, which is a conflict of interest because his boss, Anna Whitehead, um, she's his boss, and he's supposed to be in charge of security. And I think he was even given the charge of security of Park University. And then his relationship with Anne Ogle, and having business ties with her, very close business ties with her. And she's also an administrator to CYS. So not only is she um, a professor there at Park University, she's also the administrator for Fort Bliss CYS, in charge of the health and welfare, the mental health and welfare also of all the children on Fort Bliss, including the emergency intake center. Um, that absolutely was up to no good because you have 85,000 unaccounted for minors on Fort Bliss. Where are they? Where are they? And this is like, okay, where's Richard? Where are these minors? What am I allowed to say? What the hell was Thomas Kane doing? I mean, I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? Please forgive me, but I want to know what the chief of security was doing. Where are the surveillance footage? Where is the accounts from all the gates? Where is his security? The security has been breached in so many ways. And, the NCOs have been allowed to run amok, absolutely run amok when it comes to the SOPs for the barracks, where you have a 14-year-old girl living in the barracks, um, being prostituted out. Her night's hell. Her night's hell. Because you can be prostituted out numerous times, which is uh, shown and demonstrated in the movie The Sound of Silence, Sound of Freedom, The Sound of Freedom. Um, and the big thing about that movie is that it is connected to the trafficking of children and trafficking of children using tactical move storage units, which is now Intel is where a body can be hidden, remains can be hidden in tactical move storage units. And you saw that in that movie. Is that an SOP? Is that a standard operating procedure for human traffickers and for criminals to hide remains? Um, Maybe temporarily, maybe yeah, wow. Um, Also, it involves cocaine in that movie, Sound of Freedom. It shows you how the young girl that they were searching for was stomping on the cocaine leaves to get the cocaine out. Um, they were farming the cocaine. And the drugs, the illegal drugs that are sold in the barracks by the likes of Chagra, um, from fentanyl to cocaine to LSD papers, which at the very beginning of this, we're at 1,132 days. But remember, years ago when I would do my live streams, I had received intel from witnesses that in the barracks they were harassing soldiers. They were getting them, in their birthday suit, tying their ankles and wrists together, dragging them through the barracks, beating them, and pouring, like tequila down their throat or stuffing their throat with the LSD papers. I didn't even realize, in my life, I don't deal with this stuff, but I didn't realize that LSD was on these little papers and they would put these little cartoons on or whatever. Um, so that was all, education, uh, really an education I didn't really want but there it is. And when I did it, when my husband and I sat in on a three-way conversation with Belen Rocha, who plays a role in our son's case. She rattled off, and you're talking about an 18-year-old, rattled off all of these drugs, okay? Knew all about them. So these young girls being brought in by the likes of Thomas Kane with his special passes, because he's the one that issues the passes, and being brought in even during the COVID restrictions. Okay, the COVID uh, lockdown, during the COVID lockdown. And, I don't really believe all that COVID nonsense, but the mandates, the lockdown was absolutely reality. And bringing in those girls put them at great risk and put our soldiers at great risk because of what was going on in the barracks with the weapons, with the drugs. And, because she knew so much about these drugs, and this green light with the rapes, that you can be raped, and you can go to your chain of command. You could go to JAG and say, hey, I've been raped, and they block you, or they retaliate against you, like in Asia Graham's case. They put the rapist, really, really retaliating against her mentally by putting her rapist 2 doors down from her, moving her rapist 2 doors down from her, because somebody had this great idea to make the barracks co-ed, right? When there's like minimum 9-to-1 ratio, 9 young men to one young woman, one young female, and then let's bring in these party girls, um, and who knows if they were mules, who knows if they were bringing in um, these drugs during their special passes visits, even during the COVID lockdown. Really dangerous, very, very dangerous. And I think that Thomas Kane here, um, I allege he's really implicated in so much wrongdoing, um, just up to no good. And if he's up to no good in this respect, what was he doing at Park University? Okay? What was he doing at Park University? And what was he doing in his criminology class that we have intel that Richard was part of? Okay? And what was he doing as an academic advisor to these young men if he's up to such no good? And our intel is saying that Richard complained, um, and that it's alleged that Park University did nothing, ignored him, ignored him. Does Park University have a history of ignoring complaints, not telling Thomas Kane or the command about the complaints, very serious complaints, of the misgoing ons in Park University, right there on Fort Bliss? That's a really good question. And so there is lots of technology that can help us uh, get evidence, to add to our mounds and mounds of evidence, um, about the forced disappearance, and we believe the presumed premeditated murder of Richard, that has so much to do with Park University, that has so much to do with the some unit members, and also faculty at Park University, and also the command. It's just, you know, uh, unbelievable, the amount of negligence that added to the forced disappearance and what we believe the presumed premeditated murder of our son. So, years of gathering information has led to some intel lately. This white van, a white, to be specific, 2004 Pontiac, Montana minivan. 2004, we've been doing some homework, and 2004 is an interesting year because it was the first year that OnStar was put in to these vans, and OnStar could be a key for us. And it is a GPS vehicle data tracking, GPS tracking vehicle data system that would tell us, just like these phones that we have, ping, ping a van, ping a minivan, ping a minivan that is said to have transported uh, partial remains of our son. Um, yeah. So that is interesting information because this van, we have a witness, and the witness is, I can tell you this much, the license plate number begins with a C, capital C, capital C. So this is, you know, uh, really, we're very transparent. We are absolutely aware that those who are concerned about their participation in the forced disappearance and end up to no good when it comes to um, our son, Richard Halliday, that they're watching. And we, at the very beginning of all of this, offered immunity um, for even the worst offenses for our son's case. And, we have since then rescinded that offer. We are not, we have too much, we have too much evidence now. We have too many details, too many names, too much. Um, and what does this mean? What does this mean? It means, where, people say, where's the body though? How, it can't, you can't say that this van transported Richard's body when there's no body. Where's the body? Where's his remains? And we asked that of Judge Robert Shook, where are Richard's remains? Where are the warrants um, for picking up his remains of the crime scene, of the autopsies, of the mortuary affairs, of where's all of that? And it's very interesting. Even Park University, where is Richard's academic records? Where is cooperation? We cooperated when the Fugitive Apprehension Unit illegally came to our house in full battle gear as an assault team and illegally searched our home because they can't provide any warrant. Um, we cooperated, but where is Park University cooperating? Where is the JAG cooperating? Where are they? Where is Judge Robert Shook cooperating with the investigation of a missing soldier, Richard Halliday? Where is it? Um, and so this is really indicative to Representative Veronica Escobar, who, I also believe and experienced it up to no good in this in the investigation of our son's case. But you know what? It just doesn't um, matter when it comes to her duty. Okay. If she was up to no good, um, then we all need to get together and drive her to do her duty. That's the bottom line. She is a representative. She does sit on these very special, um, what do you call them? Oh, someone help me out here. Went blank. But anyway, the women's, the Hispanic Women's, the uh, Arms Services Committee, these committees, thank you, the Judicial Committee. And she is very, very instrumental in being able to get to the bottom of what happened to our son. And so far, she hasn't wielded her power that we have given her. Okay, we, the citizens of the United States, her district has given her these powers, and those people are Fort Bliss also. Okay, that's part of her district. And so she has been given, granted, entrusted with these powers, with these duties as a representative of Fort Bliss, of her district of El Paso. And so we need to remind her of that duty. And I think we did. And I want to thank everyone. And I want everyone to please write her some more letters. Keep writing her letters because she answered back very quickly when it came to this legitimate, very legitimate um, congressional inquiry request by an active duty Fort Bliss soldier. Okay? And she responded because her duty is to respond very quickly to that. Now, I know that Dolores, who I'm very appreciative to, and she knows I'm very appreciative to her because I've said so to her in a on private phone calls for her um, ongoing interest in this case, and she's posted up some that she asked for a congressional inquiry, and really respect that. Go for it. One, and I hope that this congressional inquiry by an active duty Fort Bliss soldier will help her get some answers also. But they do have different weights. I've been checking up on it to make sure because Veronica Escobar did answer us very quickly. Her office did twice now, twice. So she absolutely understands that this congressional inquiry is very, very important. So we appreciate her getting back to us twice now. Um, and I think it is something that we can all get behind. Everyone can get behind this soldiers from Fort Bliss, active duty. This is something that we all can get behind. Every one of us can get behind. And that includes James Hart, right? Who is really angry, upset with me. Um, text did sent me a personal message that he's upset with me, and this he can get behind this congressional inquiry. He can share it, get people to sign the petition behind it, because that absolutely, and I'm going to post that up again. We're going to burn the midnight oil. Um, and we can absolutely get behind this soldier and other active duty soldiers. So, what we're trying to do is have a Spartacus moment. Uh, multiply the support for this congressional inquiry request, and also multiply the congressional inquiry requests by having other, if by showing so much support to this soldier, that other soldiers also will see the support, and they will also submit uh, inquiries for requests for congressional inquiries for their grievances, because absolutely it's not just Richard's case that the JAG has acted so badly and blocked or obstructed justice in Richard's case, but also blocked other soldiers' concerns and grievances of fraud, waste, and abuse, because it has, Fort Bliss has just run amok too. And we know that because of the increased suicides that are questionable, all of the crime going on there. A young girl living in the barracks at the age of 14, being prostituted out probably many times a night, living through hell every night. And the responses for that was, oh, yeah, people are living in the barracks all the time. Nobody was shocked by it. Nobody was outraged by it, because they have normalized child sex trafficking. They're normalizing child pornography. And we know that Leilani confessed to having child pornography long periods of time in her house, which is illegal. And they're the likes of Leilani and James Hart. If this is a notarized affidavit that the CID and the FBI accepted. So, I don't know if her false claims in Park University and false claims in all her previous cases that she was convicted of lying to law enforcement authorities, if that was notarized, if the CID, if the FBI accepted her claims as true in those cases. I don't know. But I'm just saying that to normalize child pornography and child sex trafficking and human trafficking, which is normally mostly all women, um, and especially being on the border there, I don't understand why Veronica Escobar, um, has delayed so long. But now she is, maybe she's understanding that this is a real problem, that these young party girls were brought in, probably Hispanic young women, a lot of them being in El Paso and on the border of Juarez. And she sits on that committee, the Hispanic women, right? So she sits on that committee. So, Judicial Committee, Arms, the House Armed Services Committee, and more. I need to get out that list again. This is all just from memory. So she has very important duties that and so much on her shoulders. So much responsibility. Can you imagine her standing in front of God? All her responsibility that she has, that has been entrusted to her by the her district, by the people that count on her. And God is going to judge her. Judges get judged severely by God, severely, because they impact so many people's lives, so many children's lives. Think about the 85,000 unaccounted for minors that, poof, poof, they're gone out of Fort Bliss Emergency Intake Center. I mean, that's unbelievable. So I'm glad that she is coming to her senses now, that she has responded so quickly to um, our, and I'm sure she did that to the soldier. We do not know. I want to make this very, very clear. We do not know this soldier that made this a request for a congressional inquiry. We don't know him. And we were just uh, copied on that. So that's very important for people to know. Um, but a lot of crime going on. So why am I talking about this? Because I want people to understand that we have to uh, operate as Team Fine Richard Halliday from the law that has been set in front of us, right? And to prosecute for the forced disappearance and presumed premeditated murder of Richard, do we have to have his remains in order to prosecute? Do we have to have his remains according to Texas law? And, we'll be addressing South Carolina law, or at that time, even Florida law. So we'll cover all the bases. Um, but according to Texas law, in order to prosecute for murder, you do not have to have the remains. You do not have to show the remains. Okay? And this falls under um, for, let me see if I put this. I think it was for chapter 54. Um, I thought I had it on my notes, but um, that law, that statute, um, you do not have to have, and there's precedences set also, and it's very important. And it's about wrongful death claim, and in Texas for wrongful death, and it is 7 years. And I remember someone telling me, just wait 7 years, just wait 7 years. Um, don't look for your son, whatever, just wait 7 years. Can you believe it? Anyway, but that's why they knew that. I didn't know that. And, who knows that? That's telling me the 7 years. I have to look that screenshot up again because I did save that screenshot for the 7 years. And there's no statute of limitation on murder. That's absolutely right, Danielle. Yep. But you don't have to wait the 7 years either. That's what we're learning. If you can prove death with circumstantial evidence. So, what is circumstantial evidence? If you're in a room and you see a person shoot another person, you know that is hard evidence, right? But if you walk into a room and you see a person holding a gun that's smoking and another person is dead on the floor from a gunshot wound, that is circumstantial evidence. You can say, oh, yeah, that person looks like it that he shot or she shot person B, right? So, so that would be circumstantial evidence. So we don't have to have the body. We just need circumstantial evidence. And what does that entail in our son's case? In our son's case, it has to do with this van, right? This van with OnStar GPS. That can be if that van is in a certain place at a certain time. That would be really interesting evidence, wouldn't it? But also the disappearance under a suspicious circumstance. And absolutely, Richard, is that you just don't go missing from the barracks on Fort Bliss, right? Where your whereabouts remain unknown. It just doesn't happen. Um, and that, they don't have the CCTV footage. They don't have the surveillance footage. Um, and, oh, by the way, Thomas Kane, uh, it looks like it is up to no good because he had a connection with Richard from Park University. Looks like it. It's alleged. This is our intel. This is how things are. Circumstantial evidence. Lack of communication. And I don't want to pick on Thomas Kane um, unjustly. This is justly. Okay. He has been entrusted with the security of Fort Bliss. Okay. The Department of Emergency Services. This is kind of like what's going on in the Maui, and I wish I would spend more time reading about it. I wish I was two or three people, um, because I would dedicate more time looking into Maui. But one thing I do know about it is that the system failed Maui, right? The system failed. And so Thomas Kane failed so many of our service members, including Richard Halliday. Failed him. And I think it was even more than that. Okay. That's just my thoughts, my opinion, my allegations. Allege. It appears so. It seems so. Yeah. The lack of communication by Richard is also circumstantial evidence. There has been no communication from him in 1,132 days. Nothing. Nada. Not anything. And so that also is highly unusual and is circumstantial evidence. Uncharacteristic behavior. Um, so Richard was Distinguished Honor Graduate for Basic Training, Distinguished Honor Graduate for AIT, Guidon Bearer, right? Guidon Bearer. This is uncharacteristic for him, what they say happened. He did Combat Lifesaver. He clept out of college math at the age 6 credit hours at the age of 15 and 6 credit hours of German at the age of 15. He wanted to be a CID special agent. He looked into that. We have the paperwork. And, you know, I even talked to Marlon Soto about this. And Marlon Soto knew, y'all. Can you imagine how evil that man is? I just think he's so up to no good. If he's so up to no good in this case, what else is he doing? What else is he doing? I don't know if I have time to look into that, but I do know he's up to no good in Richard's case. So no financial activity. Richard has had no financial activity. He was really big in economics. He liked Bitcoin. People know that. He liked Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin. And, you know, where is all of his financial activity? There hasn't been any. And it is interesting what all happened there. Yeah. Unattended responsibilities. Richard, you know, had aspirations. Where is it? Where is he? Where is he? He had to show up for duty. Where is he? You think he'd just walk away? No, he didn't just walk away. He didn't just walk away. Failed search efforts. Here we have $1 trillion military, 15 plus agencies, including Mexico. You have the FBI, you have the CID, you have the DES, you have the Department of Homeland Security, you have the ATF. ATF doesn't get involved unless something is going on, okay? Okay, that is the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. Yeah, ATF was involved. The sheriffs, the marshals, the U.S. Marshals, the Customs and Border Protectors, the Department of State, and on and on. They haven't been able to locate Richard with all of their top-notch technology. That is big, big circumstantial evidence right there. Very big, super big, blockbuster big, blockbuster, and no findings, no op-ord, no op-ord for the task force find Richard Halliday with 15 plus agencies. No op-ord, no do outs, no do no do outs, no anything. Um, that is huge circumstantial evidence. Huge. And where is Fort Bliss now looking for Richard? Where is the PAO announcing monthly they didn't do it? They didn't do it. They never wanted to find him. And then the inaction at the beginning, the inaction to tell us that our son was missing, the inaction to tell us that our son was a whistleblower, the inaction to tell us that Richard was an intern in the CID through Park University or not. I mean, circumstantial, the withholding of information, the lack of responses from the open records requests. And, we're waiting for Miss Amy Snoddy. Miss Amy Snoddy, who is, her 10 days have ran out. So we have to go and knock on her door again. Hey, your days have run out. Where is the financial information of what Governor Greg Abbott spent on our son's case? And also tell us it's our right as taxpayers to know what you allocated for the Walmart case to prosecute Patrick Crucius. Right? Where is it? So we have to knock on that door again. And the lack of responses for all the open records. Where's El Paso Police Department? They were part of the 15 plus. Where's the El Paso Police Department open records, records requests that we made with them? Where are the sheriffs? Where is the judges? The judge is a big one, a very big one. Where is the CID? So many. I should have Rob on here one day talking about all of the, where's the CPS? Where's that CPS? I know that is a big one too. So those are all circumstantial evidence. The no sighting of Richard. There has been no confirmed sightings. Let me tell you, that is a big one too, because we live in the world of cameras. Cameras everywhere. Cameras and immediate contact with people. And there's been no sightings of Richard. Nada. Nothing. And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, someone said. No. Where are the camera pictures of Richard, the sightings of Richard? So there has been none. And then also, any time, for a long time, we would write him all the time on his phone, just in case. And there has been no response. So, and another circumstantial evidence is so many people up to no good that will watch my live streams every day to give negative comment, to harass, to threaten, to try to swing the narrative away from finding Richard, from the information that we have, instead of trying to add to it or just trying to respectfully correct it. No, they have harassed us, and also the threats on our home, the stolen identities, the the constant and severe retaliation that our family has received is unprecedented in a missing soldier case. Okay, I don't know any other case that has suffered like this. So that is also circumstance, and the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because it is circumstantial evidence that will help us in this wrongful death claim, and we have so much more, because they didn't even want the military police looking for Richard, and we know that from Anthony Swafford. And where is he calling us? Apologizing. Where is he really? I mean, really, wouldn't that just be the right thing to do? Is to call us and say, I messed up. Your son has every right to be found. I messed up. And I put up Tucker's little interview in Hungary where, he talks about losing his job, being fired from his job, and that men, when they, get bold and feel like they're so successful, especially criminality, uh, that they, get this God complex, this Jesus complex, and it's bad, and it's bad, and we've seen that. I've seen that with Jay Paul, and I've seen that with James Hart, Dallas Hart, um, you know, and with Anthony Swafford. Why aren't they um, reaching out? The PI, remember the PI, Phil Waters? He should absolutely be apologizing for Danae Katzen instead of bad mouthing me, right? Um, I only treated him with respect. And really, the level of, I would even call it a crime, that he perpetrated against us, we have been so kind. And yeah, that was really bad. And where's Hardy Hay in all of this? Where's Hardy Hay? Where is Joshua Lyons? Where are they? Where's Clem Coward? Where is Michael Roddick? Where is David Park? Where is Jay Pollan? Where is Tavita Nusa? Where are they? Where is Michael? Well, I know where Michael Ruggiero is. Up to no good. Absolutely up to no good. What a character. And that was Richard's first sergeant. Oh my goodness, y'all. Please God, let this active duty soldiers congressional inquiry go through, because we have to save our service members. Okay? We really do. And I think that Park University needs to be part of this, and the LDS also, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That needs to be investigated, because it's all connected. This is all and I think that the LDS is a little more scarier to me than the Army or Park University, because they have, like, what is it, 4 times the amount of money as Apple. They have a lot to lose here. They have a lot to lose, and they've conducted themselves horribly during this whole thing. Absolutely horrible. And because for months, I asked them to be a light in this case, because they could absolutely help us get to the bottom of finding Richard. And yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that we have evidence that that proves that Richard is a wrongful death claim, and that we don't need to wait to 7 years. We have enough, way more than enough, way more than enough, because what I just mentioned right now is just the tip of the iceberg. Can you imagine if we got the OnStar of this Pontiac van, 2000 van, with what witnesses has told us has a license plate that begins with a C, a C. Um, I'm, you know, that was used to, this is the intel that we have gotten, um, to transfer our son's remains. So that is, um, that's the news that I really wanted to give you today. Um, this OnStar, is that breaking news? That the 2004 Pontiac Montana has an OnStar? I don't know. I think it'll be breaking news if we can get the vehicle data, right? That would be breaking news. That would be the breaking news. So, but it is positive to know that there is a chance that we can get vehicle data. So that would be really good. Um, the other thing I'd really love to stress is about this congressional inquiry request and the petition. So please, if you have not signed the petition yet, please sign the petition and then do more. Do more, which means share it. Not only share it, but try to talk to close neighbors, friends, family members about what's going on, and ask them to sign the petition to support this Fort Bliss soldier that was so brave to ask for this congressional inquiry, because we all know how dangerous it is to deal with our institutions right now. They're weaponized against us. So we have to back up this soldier. We have to have his back. We need to um, be a force multiplier on this. And so sign the petition. That it does work. And also, it gives an indication to other soldiers that they are supported, and they also can make, if they've been wronged, if they have been maligned, that and they've gone through their chain of command, that they can also put in an additional request for an additional congressional inquiry. And so that is an officer or lawyer can subpoena OnStar information. Maybe State Patrol could get information regarding Richard's disappearance. Thank you. We need to do that. We absolutely need to do that. So we need to put in those requests. Hopefully, there will be people behind them that will honor those requests. Because we also need to know about this. I want to finish what I was saying. Other soldiers on Fort Bliss that can make these requests for congressional inquiries. We want to give them, uh, you know, the support, the hedge around them, that they feel like they can do it and they won't be alone. Then also with this tactical move storage unit. This is also a very big deal in this case, because this is where the remains were moved to and from, and Van Buren Avenue has a big part in this. A garage has a big part of this. Um, Surveillance footage has a big part of this. So if we can get a hold of the surveillance footage, but we're told that surveillance footage was destroyed, was tampered with. That means where was Thomas Kane? Or did Thomas Kane have a part in destroying surveillance footage and tampering with surveillance footage? So, did he have a close relationship with Leilani Hart? Did he have a relationship with James Hart, with Dallas Hart? Did he have a relationship with Richards? Was it a strenuous, strained relationship? Was Richard reporting wrongdoings at um, Park University that might include Leilani Hart, that might include Thomas Kane? Okay, so was Leilani Hart a student in Richard's class? I mean that's a big question too, right? So these are all things that Park University could answer for us, right? In those academic records, at least give us the academic records. FERPA allows for that when you're in this kind of emergency case. Um, so, yeah, there's no excuse. I think I've covered just about everything. We're getting that institutional support uh, with the evidence. Okay, so with that institutional support plus the evidence, that equals accountability, right? That is sweet sounding. That is the sweetest sounding formula ever. The institutional support, that's why we want and asking. We want it. We want it. We are. I want to. Do I want to say begging? But we want the letters to Veronica Escobar. We want the letters to Ted Cruz. We need this institutional support because we have evidence and we can get even more evidence, and that would give us the accountability. So, institutional support plus evidence equals accountability. So, that's what we're trying to do, and we thank you so much. Um, and don't stop with just your letter. Uh, Ask others to write a letter. Okay? So thank you so much. God bless you. And maybe I should put like a little sample letter together for everybody. Um, just support the Fort Bliss active duty soldier that put in a congressional inquiry request in regards to Richard Halliday's case. Other cases too, but in regards, for our sake, in regards to Richard Halliday's case. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll be back tomorrow, God willing.